Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Junior Sobu Main Line resumes operations. According to Junior East, the Sobu Main Line had suspended service on both tracks between Yokoshiba Station in Yokoshiba Hikari Town, Chiba Prefecture, and Ioka Station in Asahi City, Chiba Prefecture, due to the earthquake. After conducting inspections of the tracks and other checks, no particular abnormalities were found. Service resumed after 5 p.m. today. As a result, passengers using this section can now travel as usual. We will provide updates should there be any changes to the operating conditions of this line going forward. Traffic update. Tokaido Shinkansen may suspend operations tomorrow. Due to approaching typhoons, transportation services may be affected. Typhoon number 7 is expected to accelerate and approach western and eastern Japan on the 27th. Additionally, Typhoon number 8 is also forecast to draw very close to eastern Japan on the 27th, with the possibility of making landfall. The Tokaido Shinkansen may suspend operations due to typhoon impacts, and it is necessary to stay alert for weather updates. Those planning to travel on the 27th are advised to check the latest traffic information before using transportation services. Actor Nijiro Murakami referred to prosecutors on suspicion of assault against romantic partner. Actor Nijiro Murakami has been referred to prosecutors on suspicion of assault. According to police investigation, Murakami allegedly assaulted a woman he was dating at his Tokyo residence last year, causing her serious injuries. The 29-year-old actor has appeared in multiple television dramas and films. No statement has been issued by Murakami's agency regarding this incident. Police say they will conduct further investigation based on the submitted documents and defer to prosecutors on how to proceed. Special Beatles store opens in Harajuku, Tokyo to mark 60 years since the band's visit to Japan. A special pop-up store has opened in Harajuku, Tokyo, coinciding with the 60th anniversary this month of the legendary British rock band The Beatles' visit to Japan. The store allows visitors to enjoy performance footage from the historic visit, which is being publicly displayed for the first time in 60 years. The Beatles came to Japan in 1966 and had a major impact on the Japanese music scene. With the opening of this store, people can now experience the excitement of that era through nostalgic video materials and related merchandise. The store is expected to attract not only music fans but also many people interested in history. National Film Archive faces funding crisis as government subsidy declines, launches 100 million yen fundraising campaign. Japan's only state-run film institution, the National Film Archive, is facing a serious funding shortage. The facility, which plays a crucial role in preserving and exhibiting film materials and related archives, is struggling to continue its operations due to reduced government subsidies. In response, the organization has announced plans to raise 100 million yen through crowdfunding. The National Film Archive says it urgently needs financial support to preserve valuable film materials for future generations. The campaign is expected to receive support from the public as they work to pass on Japan's film culture to the next generation. Team Mirai holds AI seminar for lawmakers from all parties, with party leader Yasuno as instructor. Team Mirai held an AI seminar for members of parliament from both ruling and opposition parties. The seminar was led by party leader Yasuno, who has experience as an engineer. During the seminar, participants learned in detail about the benefits of AI utilization and important considerations when using AI technology. The goal is to deepen lawmakers' understanding of rapidly advancing AI technology and apply that knowledge to future policymaking. By acquiring AI expertise, politicians are expected to engage in more informed discussions about appropriate legislation and regulatory frameworks. House Special Committee to begin deliberations on seat reduction bill on the 29th. Committee chair makes decision using administrative authority. The House of Representatives Special Committee on Political Reform held a steering committee meeting today. With opposition parties absent, the committee chair from the Japan Innovation Party used administrative authority to decide to begin deliberations on a House seat reduction bill next week on the 29th. Questioning is scheduled for the following day, the 30th. The seat reduction bill would cut the number of lawmakers, and the ruling coalition is seeking to advance discussions on the matter. Meanwhile, opposition parties have voiced objections to both the bill's content and the process, demonstrating their opposition stance through their absence. Attention is now focused on how deliberations will proceed going forward. Prime Minister Takaichi meets with LDP's Onodera on Tax Commission, instructs coordination of consumption tax reduction for food. Prime Minister Takaichi met with Onodera, chairman of the Liberal Democratic Party's Tax Commission, and instructed him to proceed with coordination on reducing the consumption tax for food products. Under a proposal presented by the LDP, the tax rate on food items would be lowered from the current 8% to 1% for a 2-year period beginning in April next year. Prime Minister Takaichi called for careful coordination with parties from various political affiliations through working-level meetings of the National Conference and other forums based on this proposal. The consumption tax reduction on food products aims to ease the burden on households caused by soaring prices. Going forward, the government and ruling party will intensify coordination with opposition parties and accelerate efforts toward implementation. Opposition 5 parties confirm policy of refusing to participate in all House deliberations and schedule negotiations. Following the decision to refer the bill on reducing the number of House of Representatives seats and related legislation for the Vice Premier initiative to a special committee, the 5 opposition parties held a joint meeting today. At the meeting, they confirmed their policy of refusing to participate in all House deliberations and schedule negotiations going forward, stating that they cannot accept the ruling party pushing through discussions by using its numerical majority. The opposition strongly opposes the advancement of bills without sufficient debate, and it is expected that future diet operations will be significantly affected. Average rice price at supermarkets rises to 3,590 yen for 5 kilograms, first increase in 5 weeks. According to a survey by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, the average price of rice sold at supermarkets nationwide during the week through June 21 was 3,590 yen per 5 kilograms including tax. This represents a 2 yen increase compared to the previous week, marking the first price increase in 5 weeks. Rice prices had been on a downward trend until now, but have recently begun to rise again. The increase is believed to be influenced by fluctuations in grain market prices and rising distribution costs. Since rice is an essential staple food on Japanese dining tables, future price movements are being closely monitored. Stock prices plunge over 3,700 yen, recording third largest daily decline. Tokyo's stock market experienced a sharp decline on the 26th. The Nikkei 225 index fell over 3,700 yen at one point, with the closing price marking the third largest daily drop on record. The primary factor behind the decline was widespread profit-taking sales, particularly in AI and semiconductor-related stocks that have seen significant gains recently. As the uptrend has continued, investors have become more active in adjusting their positions. Market analysts suggest that the previous buying momentum has plateaued and the market is entering a correction phase. Going forward, the release of economic indicators is expected to influence market direction. Honda shareholders meeting. President apologizes for massive losses as board slate approved. Honda held its shareholders meeting today. Due to massive losses related to electric vehicle operations, the company posted its first net loss since going public in the previous fiscal year. President Toshihiro Shimizu apologized, saying, "I sincerely apologize for the concern and inconvenience caused to our shareholders." As the company invests heavily in transitioning its business to electric vehicles, improving profitability has become a key challenge. At the shareholders' meeting, the slate of executive candidates was approved, and the company's future management structure was endorsed. Honda faces pressure to accelerate its electrification strategy and improve operational efficiency, and shareholder scrutiny is expected to intensify going forward. Ongoing coverage: Russia's military invasion of Ukraine, developments on June 26. We bring you the latest developments in the Ukraine situation for today, June 26. Fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces continues across various regions of Ukraine, with reports of intense artillery fire and airstrikes. The situation is particularly tense along the eastern front lines. Meanwhile, large numbers of civilians fleeing the conflict continue to evacuate abroad, making humanitarian aid in neighboring countries an urgent priority. The international community has been vocal in its support for Ukraine, with countries strengthening their diplomatic response. Ukrainian President Zelensky has issued a statement calling for expanded international support. Russia, for its part, has reaffirmed its commitment to continuing military operations, with the confrontation between the two nations escalating in severity. The situation warrants continued close attention to how events unfold. South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung's approval rating falls to record low amid soaring prices. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung's approval rating has dropped to a record low of 51%. The figure is based on an aggregate of multiple public opinion polls and marks the lowest level since he took office. The decline in approval rating is attributed to his administration's response to economic issues directly affecting citizens' livelihoods, including rapid inflation and surging real estate prices. President Lee is now entering his second year of a 5-year term, and his policy management is facing increasingly tough scrutiny going forward. The government faces an urgent need to implement concrete measures to alleviate public concerns, including price stabilization policies and expanded housing supply. North Korea's Kim Jong-un oversees weapons test of systems capable of striking South Korean capital region. According to North Korean state media, Kim Jong-un supervised a test firing of tactical ballistic missiles and other weapons systems on the 25th. The weapons tested are capable of reaching South Korea's capital region, and the date marks the anniversary of the outbreak of the Korean War. Experts point out that conducting large-scale weapons tests on this significant anniversary appears designed to send a warning to South Korea while strengthening domestic unity. North Korea's successive missile launches raise concerns about further escalating tensions on the Korean peninsula, and the international community is closely monitoring developments. Japan draws with Sweden, advances to 2026 World Cup knockout stage. In a group stage match of the FIFA World Cup in North and Central America on the night of the 25th, morning of the 26th Japan time, Japan drew 1-1 with Sweden in their third group match at Dallas Stadium in the United States. With this result, Japan finished second in their group and secured advancement to the knockout stage. Japan, who only needed a draw or better to advance, scored first in the second half but were immediately equalized by Sweden. Though Japan faced defensive pressure in the closing stages, their defense made key plays to prevent being overtaken. All Group F matches concluded on the day. Japan finished with 1 win and 2 draws for 5 points, advancing to the knockout stage in second place. Group leaders were the Netherlands, who defeated Tunisia 3-1 on the day for 2 wins and 1 draw, earning 7 points. Japan will face powerhouse Brazil, who topped Group C, in the first round of the knockout stage where 32 teams compete. The match will take place on the 29th at noon, 2 a.m. Japan time on the 30th, at Houston Stadium in the United States. With Japan appearing in the World Cup for 8 consecutive tournaments, attention is focused on whether they can achieve their first quarterfinal or better finish. In the previous 2022 Qatar tournament and the 2018 Russia tournament before that, Japan both exited in the round of 16. The match on the day was a must-win for both sides to advance to the knockout stage, so Japan and Sweden played cautiously from the opening stages, probing their opponents' movements. The match progressed with both sides having almost no clear scoring opportunities. Search for survivors continues in Venezuela earthquake as death toll feared to rise further. One day after two powerful earthquakes with magnitudes exceeding 7.0 struck South America's Venezuela in quick succession, rescue operations continued in the affected areas. According to AFP, Health Minister Carlos Alvarado announced on state television on the 25th that the death toll has risen to at least 235 people, with the number of injured reaching at least 4,300. In the capital Caracas and the nearby coastal city of La Guaira, cries for help could be heard from beneath the rubble of collapsed buildings. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the earthquakes that struck on the evening of the 24th, Japan time early morning on the 25th, began with an initial magnitude 7.2 quake, followed by a stronger magnitude 7.5 earthquake just tens of seconds later. Because both quakes had shallow depths, the damage proved more severe. The death toll is expected to rise further. Additionally, in the affected areas, many people have lost their homes or are afraid to remain in damaged, unsafe buildings, forcing them to sleep on the streets. Aftershocks continue throughout the region. Interim President Diosdado Cabello told state television that at least 30 aftershocks have been recorded since the two earthquakes struck.